Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host.
Hi everyone and welcome to the show. It's Trevor Stockwell here, and I'm joined by my guest today, Milana. Now, Milana is a healer and a spiritual guide. She's also authored 2 books, and her last one's called Dark Chocolate for the Soul. I'm really intrigued about that title, so we'll talk about that a little bit. She's passionate about helping business owners increase their well-being through focusing on the different areas of life, so the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. So here to tell us more, welcome Milana.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. This is so exciting because I'm here actually for you. I'm here to share my story, and I would like to start with telling you how I wrote my first book. So my first book is called Gypsy Energy Secrets. So kind of rewind. Before I wrote it, I was a successful figure skater. I was on top of the world. I was skating at the opening ceremonies of 2002 Olympic Games in Salt Lake City. I was skating in a theater on ice. I was competing. I was just happy. I was more than happy. I made it. I was teaching. I was performing. I was giving autographs. I was giving interviews. I was literally on top of the world. Good life, right? And then one time during practice, I was going for one of those jumps you see on TV. And during those jumps, I can't explain it to you, but time stops. And so I saw a little girl skating backwards towards me. So it was on a rink. I was practicing. There were other skaters. And so as she was approaching me, I understood if I don't do anything, I'm going to land on top of her. And so I had to uncross my arms, uncross my legs, and with the left skate, I sliced my right foot. I sliced it. I fell on the ice. Horrible pain, blood. I will make this the long story short. I had what people call out-of-body experience or near-death experience. I don't think words matter. What happened is that essence of me, that consciousness, maybe what you think when you sleep, that dream state. Your body is asleep, but you remember your dreams. Yeah. So that essence of me elevated, lifted, went through the tunnel, went to the light. I'm sure you read some books or heard some stories or maybe watched on TV or movies or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first one to tell that experience. But for me, I was an atheist. So for me, that experience was something that I wouldn't believe if it didn't happen to me. Yeah. And after, I will not tell you what happened there because, hey, it's in the book. But after I came back, my whole life changed. And I will tell you the difference. So my life before, self-centered. It's about me, my success, my accomplishments. Remember? Interviews, autographs, fame, recognition. Me. After I came back, and I have goosebumps all over my body because just remembering that experience puts me back. Yeah. After that, everything shifted, and the focus became on other people, on you, on others. And everything in my life changed. And I mean everything. If before I thought I was happy, well, I had no idea. I had no clue.
Yeah.
I will tell you, life, when it's shifting from self-centered to being centered on others, it's more than bliss. It's 24/7, 365 days a year. It's a state of bliss. And I am here to encourage you to experiment, to try. That's why I'm here, to kind of give you that, what is she talking about? Maybe I want it. Can I have it? Yes, you can.
Yeah, it's been psychologically proven that as we give to other people, as we do things for other people, there's a benefit to us, isn't there? I don't know the science behind it, but in lots of ways, it seems to me like your encounter with the light that you had. More details are in the book, as she said. Just shifted the focus and got you onto a new path where, as you say, it's about living for other people as well. There's the balance within the well-being side of things of looking after ourselves to some extent so that we're then able to look after others, isn't it? But if we get that out of balance and just focus on, the world turns around me, I'm in business because I want to make a lot of money so that I can spend it on everything I want without anything else, without giving back, it's out of balance, isn't it? If that's our approach.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And most people start business with number one. What is number one? I want to make money. Yeah. I want to be rich. I'm going to be rich. And then I'll buy that house in tropical paradise and a car. And my relationship will be amazing because I'm rich. Everyone wants to be with me, spend time with me, be my friend, right? I'm rich. Number one for creating a business. And then number two, well, what is it that I like to do? Or maybe what is it that I'm good at? And that's what most people start with. Yeah. But I encourage you to completely shift it and start with, what can I give to others that others need? How can I serve? And just trust me, that money comes as applaud. Is that the right word to use, applauding?
Yeah, it's a byproduct, isn't it, of reaching out to people.
Of people telling you, thank you. Money comes as thank you from others. Do you understand? Yeah. It's not, I want money, give it to me. It's, I give to you to make your life better. And you can't help it but to say, thank you. And that thank you is, you can give me money. You can give me something else. You can become my friend. You can create an experience with me, a lifelong experience with me as a thank you. When people thank you from the bottom of their hearts, money is not necessarily what you want. Money will come. It's impossible. I will tell you from my experience, from thousands of my clients, money comes because people who are grateful, they want to give you money. Imagine that someone made you the happiest you've ever been, elevated, excited, blissful. And you're like, no, not interested. You can't even fit it in your head. It's impossible. When you get something delicious, let's talk about a cup of coffee. When you get the most delicious cup of coffee in the world, or maybe a piece of chocolate, to kind of lead you into my second book.
Absolutely. We'll talk about chocolate in a minute. Definitely.
The most delicious piece of chocolate in your life, and you ate it, and you're like, that was amazing. It made my life so much better. I am not going to buy it anymore just because. Not interested. Right? It just, the world doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
People come back again and again and again if you made their life easier, richer, happier, exciting. They will come back. And that's where you start as a business owner. It's not number 10. Or maybe someone will like it. It's number 1. Yeah. That's how you start with, what can I give? What can I share from my heart to your heart? That's how you
Absolutely.
start.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the core value, really, of why Yeukai started the whole podcast in the first place. It's like we really do believe in valuing people so that we can help them on their journey. Like nobody's got to where they are without the help of somebody else, have they? Like we are all linked one way or another, aren't we? On the planet, we all help different people to then progress in their journeys. And you're absolutely right. It's like if we have to refocus, the fundamental is why am I in business? It has to be to serve people, to help people first and foremost. Otherwise, like you say, the satisfaction, the fulfillment, it's just not there, is it? It's we miss it if we chase after money and big names, brands, and all the rest of it. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This is really good. So tell us a little bit about dark chocolate. What's dark chocolate for the soul? I know, don't unpack the whole book now just because we've only got a short amount of time, but
All
introduce
right.
to that book.
Okay. So I'll have to start from my childhood a little bit. And I grew up in Estonia. And before any exam or test at school, my mom would always give me a small piece of delicious dark chocolate. And she said, it is required. It is very necessary and needed for your brain because it will function better. And maybe because of that, maybe because I really like to study, I got all A's. And so I connected that mental focus with a little piece of delicious dark chocolate. And then a tradition started all over my life. When I was kind of sad or something bad would happen or I got overwhelmed or stressed, I would be like, what can I do? Oh, there's this little piece of delicious dark chocolate. And it always made me kind of step back from any issue, even for a second. But that second was enough for me to regroup and to look at my problem or situation kind of from a different perspective. And that gave me a different attitude. And when you have a different attitude, you access that creative part of your brain that allows you to solve a problem in a very unusual way. When you're stressed, you're tight, you're dense and tense, and you're like huffing and puffing, and you're just, your mind goes into that stress mode of not being to come up with a creative decision. If you want, I can talk about left hemisphere and right hemisphere. We actually use both all the time, so it's only for clarity of conversation. So let's imagine that the left hemisphere is logic. So you have a problem and you're trying to use logic to come up with a solution. But logic will only take you so far. There are problems that no matter how much you think and think and think, there is no solution. So I invite you to shift into the so-called right hemisphere, only for the purpose of conversation. Right hemisphere, let's assign it a word: magic. It is that childlike state, that carefree, that yummy, relaxed being. So left is logic, action, you're serious. And right is magic, dance, poetry, music, being. I don't know how. Maybe it's a survival mechanism from hundreds of thousands of years of history. But when you're in that state, your being comes up with a solution, not your mind. But it's as if, just hear me out. It's downloaded from above. If that's not your cup of tea, your heart speaks to you. You get an intuitive solution. Use any words you want to use. But when you're in that unusual state, we can call it the zone. We can call it the flow. I don't care what you call it. Just be in it. The solutions that come, they're not logical, but they work.
Absolutely.
They are solutions.
Yeah.
And experiment with that, and you will find out that you prefer that other state. Dancing through life, singing through life, skipping through life. That's what it's about. Sometimes you need the logic and their seriousness. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
But don't be there all the time.
Yeah.
Shift. Go here. Go there. Shift and experiment.
Yeah.
And that's what my book, Dark Chocolate, is about. For very serious issues, like being born dead, or having severe childhood abuse, or severe trauma. I was not born that happy, blissful, dancing, skipping individual.
Yeah.
I went through extreme physical, emotional, and mental trauma. And if you heard about the questionnaire they give to adults about, check here if you were abused or traumatized or your parents were, and it goes on and goes on about all of the traumatic experience in the childhood. And I keep checking yes. How could I check all of them? And it says, well, that questionnaire predicts that as an adult, you will have traumatic experiences, you will be depressed, you will have PTSD, you will be lonely, you will not be successful. We know science, remember that left brain. Science predicts, we have statistical analysis that you, Milana, will grow up unfunctioning, unhappy individual. Well, guess what? I say no.
Absolutely.
I say I don't care.
Yeah. And that's a powerful nugget, really, just for people to think about for a moment. I mean, like you're talking about the different parts of the brain. As you were saying, I was thinking more like people have a happy place, don't they? Somewhere they go, whether they drift off in their imagination to some beach that they've been to before, something that takes them out of the current pressures, the anxiety, and they visit there briefly just as a break from what they're facing. It's exactly the same thing, isn't it? And I think what I hear you're saying a lot of the time, we create our own problems because we don't visit that place enough. We can't live there necessarily all the time, but we talk ourselves out that is a credible or a healthy place to visit. Obviously, we can't escape reality, as you said. We have to work through certain things. But if we allow ourselves to tap into that creativity, as you said, however people like to define input from outside or from within or whatever, if we get out of our heads for a bit and really learn to, be more intuitive, then a lot of the stress we actually know how to handle better, don't we? I think, that's a really good way that you've put it. So, thank you. There's a lot of clarity there. And the happy place is different for everyone, is it? Like, there's different people are creative in different ways. We express our core being in different ways. Like, you loved ice skating when you were younger and you could do it. People have different ways of expressing creativity, and it's almost like taking the helicopter view of life. You come out of your the demands of the day, the demands of the business, demands of other people, whatever it is we're facing, and then you step back and you look at the big picture, and things get a lot clearer because life is bigger than your job, your business, or should be if we keep things in balance.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask ourselves the question, so why am I now so focused on this? Where am I giving back? Where am I reaching out to other people? Who else is benefiting from me running this business? Lots of different areas that, we can tackle and think about through that. Is that one of the ways that you help people sort of manage energy better so that we're out of the anxiety more and we're more focused on the bigger picture? We approach it from the happy place, from a place of creativity. And therefore
Absolutely. Yeah. And I tell my clients that the most important part is the first minute when you wake up. The first minute when you wake up, get into that space. And of course, first of all, you have to know that space. And searching for that space is very important. And in order to find it, try hundreds of things. Try walking barefoot on the grass and let it tickle your toes, and look at the sky and just get lost in it, and search for the shapes in different clouds, and becoming that childlike, not childish, but childlike, looking at the world with the eyes as if you're looking for the first time. I'll give you an example. I have a cup, so I drink from this cup every day. But then if I shift into that mode, oh, look at the colors. They're like bright colors at the rim. And what if I squint my eyes and go a little bit further? What if I stare at it like that? That's how you search. And then you have your eyes, yeah? You look for these unusual shapes, unusual colors. Now let's move on to your ears. How do you search for that space with your ears? Lots of different sounds. You have maybe a favorite song. Maybe you will close your eyes and listen to your heartbeat. Maybe you have a singing bowl. Maybe bells. Maybe clapping hands. Maybe, the sound that will speak to you will be yours. So you'll find it. We don't want to be limited by any one of our senses. Yeah, so we got eyes covered. We got ears covered. Smell. So I have hundreds of essential oils. Hundreds. Why do I have hundreds of essential oils? That's silly. Because each scent triggers a different part of my brain and connects to that space within or outside, whatever you call it, that makes me happy. Hundreds. So I can experiment with one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at night, 35 before dinner. So we covered the nose, we covered the eyes, ears, we covered the nose, we go to the mouth, taste. Experiment with the taste. Let your breakfast be major food for the day that is delicious, fresh, nutritious, vibrant. I like to make amazing smoothie that is all fresh food, all freshly picked from my garden because I can, but maybe freshly picked from a farmer's market, organic, alive. That will wake you up. That will wake up your taste. What is it? What do we have? Do we have touch? Well, how can you use your hands? How can you maybe put them under cold water and then hot? And maybe, if you have hair, touch your hair. And maybe touch a fabric, something soft, and maybe something rough. And then what else do we have? We have sixth sense. We have intuition. How do you wake that up? Do you listen to that internal dialogue? Do you hear that whisper? Hey, don't go there. Or you really need to talk to that person. Yeah? So we have the seventh sense. I'm not going to talk about it today. It's in my book. So all of the senses, you wake them up. And imagine doing that first thing in the morning. Imagine starting your morning with that. You say, help others. But no, first, fill up that fountain so then it explodes to others. Yeah. You will serve others from that place of being overflowing, filled with that magic, with that energy, brightness, aliveness, freshness, that zzzz. You are an electric being. So charge yourself up first thing in the morning. Can you imagine doing that every day and then overflowing to others? It doesn't matter if they're a cashier in a store, if they're your partner, your kids, your pets, your plants, your table. You have no idea. I haven't even talked to you about, well, maybe I won't.
Let's No, this is all interesting. Successful people generally have developed a morning routine of some description, haven't they? That's what they kind of they focus on to start with, which then they build it in the way that works for them, really, but it gets them charged and focused for the day. So I totally understand where you're coming from. Just in the short space of time we have left, I was hoping to quiz you a little bit about your experiences of writing the books. So you've now written 2. Well, a couple of years back was the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What were some of the things for people that are listening that maybe are in the early stages of writing a book? Maybe they're thinking, yeah, I really want a book to write a book. I'll do it at some point. What were some of the sort of lessons that you learned in your first writing of a book?
So lesson number 1, the most important one, do not write a book. This subconscious, I will tell you, you can tell your subconscious, I want to write a book. And your subconscious will respond subconsciously. Remember, subconsciously. It's difficult. It's time consuming. I don't have experience. I don't have training.
Yeah.
Remember, it's subconscious. So you can tell yourself as much as you want. I want to write a book. I want to write a book. Why am I not writing the book? What's wrong with me? I want to write a book. I wanted to write a book 10 years ago. It's still not written. What's going on? Because do not write a book. Write down on maybe a little pieces of paper. I'm kind of old school. Your laptop, your phone, somewhere where your tablet, what are the words? Electronic devices. Anywhere. Type or write your thoughts, your creative thoughts. And maybe do that. Your car stopped on the red light and you come up with, oh, I have 1 sentence. Type it, write it down.
Yeah.
And then in the shower, you're doing that in the zone, and you're like, oh. And then you get out and you type it, write it down. 1 sentence. I encourage you to get a compilation of your thoughts, your ideas, and then just in random order, put them wherever. And then keep doing that collection, your thoughts. The more you'll do it, the more they will come. They will feel welcome because your subconscious will say, oh, we can really play. You see, writing a book is work. Yeah. But grabbing a Post-it note and putting something with a doodle and a picture and a smiley face, for me, is play.
Yeah.
We don't want to work.
Yeah.
We want to play. And then 1, 2, 10, 15. When I was done, I just had a huge pile of little pieces of paper. And I realized, oh, I wrote a book.
Yeah. It's the consistency, isn't it? It's capturing those moments of brilliance, the moments of inspiration, rather than thinking, oh, that was good. When I'm at my desk or whatever, I'll write it down. It's like, no, somehow capture it there and then, because as you say, you might not get it again. If you capture it, it can grow and build. And it's perspective, a lot of it, isn't it? If we do approach things as, oh, this is going to be tough, I'm going to need X amount of weeks, months, years, whatever, to do it, we put ourselves off. But you're right. It's like if we're more in tune with just the inspiration, the creativity we get in the middle of something that's random, usually. I think random has a very key part to play in us really discovering new things.
That's the right part of the brain, the random one.
Definitely. Yeah.
When you drive and you want to go your route that you know very well, just turn left and go somewhere else, and then stop your car and write the first thought that comes to your mind. Even if it's, I feel silly writing this down, but then something else will come. Yeah. You're learning how to work with your subconscious. Your subconscious is such an amazing tool, but it's not visible because most people don't access it. Yeah. Maybe when you wake up, write down your dream. Maybe something came up and write that down. You will notice a theme. Some thoughts will repeat, and then you will be like, oh, that's the name of the chapter. Oh, that's how we'll start. Oh, that's how it will end. And so things, just trust the process. Be in that process. Do not, and I stress that, do not think about, Well, how will I publish it? Will anyone like it? Well, if you write all of these thoughts on little pieces of paper on your tablet or phone, if you keep doing that from your heart, from that place of love, remember, we filled ourselves first. We went into that space of unconditional love and compassion. You're not doing it just for you because you're entertained. You're doing it because your heart is speaking to others. You want to share something with others that will benefit them. And from that space, whatever is born, it can't help it but be successful. I will tell you, when my book was done, I talked to several publishers and agents, and without reading my book, all of them said, "Do you have a platform?" Oh, platform? What is that? What is a platform? Hey, anyone? Am I on a platform? Oh, well, that's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. I didn't have that. And so I said, well, if that's what is required for agents and publishers to publish my book, I will self-publish it. And I will do that from my heart, caring. How do I serve? What is the message in my books that will help someone, that will shift that from the sadness to the happiness? And I self-published both of my books, and both are now international bestsellers. How did that happen? Where did my platform come from? I don't have platform even now.
Yeah.
I have readers. I have happy readers who were in that place of sadness and stuckness and being unsure how to proceed or how to live life, so that you want to wake up in the morning. You want to do that routine. Well, they didn't want to even go to sleep because they were afraid.
Yeah.
They were stressed. They did not like their lives. And so when they get a book and they read it, and each chapter moves them further along to that state where you want to open your eyes wide, and you want to say, thank you, life.
Yeah.
Life, I love you.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
need a platform. You don't need a platform.
Yeah. It's a really good way. It's a shift of mindset, isn't it? From this is the way that things have to happen. If you go down this route, it's like, well, pick a different route. It's like, make a new route. You know, yeah, you're right. It's being true to yourself.
Outside the box. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Time is past for now, but thank you for sharing with us. I would say a different perspective on how to approach a lot of the stresses, the pressures of owning a business, running a business, trying to grow and scale a business, all of that. Wherever our listeners are on that scale, there's definitely things here that people can listen to and to put into practice straight away. So thank you for sharing your insights, your life experiences as well. There'll be a link to your website below. Is it where, if people want to get hold of the book, is it best to go via the website or an online shop? Or
it really doesn't matter. It's everywhere. It's available from my website. It's available from the major suppliers of the books. I don't know if I can tell the name on that show or not.
But we don't get money for it.
I'm not advertising anything. It is available on Amazon. But you can go to my website, www.gypsyenergysecrets.com, and you can get a link from there.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you again, Milana. I've really enjoyed our chat today.
You're welcome.
It helps get people thinking differently, and I think we all need to think differently from time to time rather than get stuck in a rut, isn't it? It's stopping and smelling the roses, if nothing else. That's a different way of putting it. And appreciating where we are and the things that we have, so that we can then help others better. So thank you for your time. Really appreciate that. For everybody listening as well, definitely have a listen and think, what are the changes that I can make? What's the secret to Milana's success? She's creative, she's happy, she's found a way that works for her. So have a think, have a listen, and explore, as she said. Try different things. You'll find what works for you. And it will make your life better, less stressful, and then you'll be in a better place to help other people. So that's everything for this episode. Thanks for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.